Oh, what happened? We were about to go. All right, welcome everybody. We're live. It's Zenith Online Racing. This is Season 6, Round 7, the Tier 1 crew. Getting things fired up shortly. I think we're just waiting for somebody, maybe had some kind of connection issue. But it's good. It's Round 7, so we're approaching that halfway point of the season. Let's get you some standings while we wait for the lobby to load here. We haven't done that for a while, so... In the lead, championship leader currently Zenith to win it in the Aston Martin with 98 points. We got Alt Maverick with 64 points. In the Williams car, Goofy Gibbon in third with 61 points in the Alpha Tauri. LGN Cobalt, 51 points in the Alfa Romeo. Packer in the Williams as well with 41 points, so they're doing quite well in the constructors. Zenith carrying the Aston Martin team at the moment. Beck needs to find some more points, down in 15th with 10. We got T Money with 41 points as well, tied for P6 in the championship. So T Money having a quietly good season, actually. He's in a really good spot in the standings, and I don't think there's been any particular race that was outstanding for me. It was just a lot of really good, consistent drives, I think. So good on T-Money. Scavney doing well, 39 points. Really, it's all up for grabs in that middle chunk from 5 down. It's very tight. Scavney, Fuzz, Puff, Jackson, Hayden, all very close. Fusions, Joshua, and then Mr. Joshua down in 13th. Doth is in 14th with 18 points. As we mentioned, Beck in 15th with 10. We got Baboon with 8. No Mercy with 4. Portudude with 2. And then Bonk and Zamoglis obviously hasn't been here. He's on a sabbatical, but he'll be back soon. Down at the bottom with 0 points. He's intending to come back. He's been with us a long time, just going through some changes, moving, whatnot. So... Swaglis may have been here from season 1 on, so yeah. Definitely make sure that he's probably going to keep his seat. I wouldn't worry about him getting bumped. Race Sham? Is that what? Race Sham? Race Champs? I think you and Puff were talking about that. I don't know. I'm out of the loop on that one. Yeah, good luck, everybody. We got... I was going to say, what the hell's going on here with the session? Like, I've been sitting in this menu for ages. I had to fill all this time. Kill all this dead air. Constructor standings. We got Aston Martin with 108. Williams with 105. Alfa Romeo with 66. AlphaTauri with 69. They actually have them in a different position. RC's got to swap them around. Updated the points, but not the spot. Red Bull with 62, McLaren with 60, Mercedes with 41, Ferrari with 38, Haas with 29, Alpine with 0. So, pretty close constructors battle too. 3rd to 9th, everybody really in play there. Getting both cars in the points would do a world of good for any of those teams. Let's get quali going. Looks really dry, so my predictions have not come true, unless it is raining for the race. Let's find out. Penalties, maybe? I think he may have had a penalty in the... post-race, or maybe in the stewarding. I have no idea, to be honest with you. What, is it out of order or something? Like, the points difference not adding up from last week? Another thing, too. I think I need to just drop the audio. Just a touch. Just because I'm not in a party today, so it's going to be a little more overwhelming compared to my voice. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that, but we're on board with Packers going to get it rolling here for the start of quality. It looks actually quite nice. Like, the weather is gorgeous here for qualifying. I'm not sure if it's going to stay that way or weather does change quick in this circuit, but for qualifying it looks solid. You never know in the race though. It's a long period of time and sometimes it shifts quite quick at this circuit. So for now it's dry. On the softs, we got the Packer starting his hot lap, looking to retain that championship title from last season. There's a lot of work to do, but last week wins the Grand Prix, does a great job getting himself back in the hunt. We got Cobalt off the track there. I just happened to launch him next accidentally, so that's nice. Packer going through sector 2 right now. Not really sure what a great time is here. I didn't really look at the time trial times today, so not too sure what the qualifying times we're looking for are, but Packer will set a pretty good benchmark, I feel. Zenith as well. Yeah, Packer needs a good qualifying. He's been really good in the races. The qualifying's been a little off, but he seems to be getting it together slowly here, so should see Packer in fighting for that podium again this week. It's been improving week by week. 103.8, so I'm pretty sure 104 is a good time here. So Packer's done well to get a little bit, like quite a ways under that. Let's check in with Beck. He's doing an out lap. Got one of the monkey guys, Gibbons, going slow. Baboon on a flyer. Got Fuzz on a push lap. Puff on a push lap. So Fuzz up the road. Let's watch Fuzz, and then we'll jump to Puff at the end of his run. Doing well to keep it on the road. Just want to be... Yeah, he's doing... it's a really smooth Sector 3 here so far. It's looking really good. Using the right amount of curve, carrying a lot of momentum through the corners. Fuzz up into P5. Let's check with Puff. Puff's coming into the pits. He must have been validated. He did. Baboon must have had some kind of moment. He's way off the pace. Gibbon way off the pace. Got Beck on a flyer, as I mentioned. He needs a good race. He needs to be helping his teammate out, Zenith, in that constructor. So Beck actually hasn't validated, so he's slowed down. Gibbon going slow. Anybody else here out on the lap? Joshua. Zenith on the mediums likes to do this at the start of qualifying. Let's check in with Zenith and see what kind of times he's doing on the medium tire. Just gets into a little rhythm, does a few runs, a little bit extra fuel, and then he goes out there and hammers home the hot lap. So Zenith in P5 on the medium. Got to figure that's worth about half a second at least. So we could see Zenith up to P2. He'd be challenging Packer's time. Not sure he could beat Packer's time, but it looks like a pretty good benchmark from Packer early in qualifying. A few tenths up. I guess Cobalt actually on the softs is a threat. So we'll keep an eye on Cobalt actually, because on those medium tires, he's got a pretty good lap time there. Comes Beck. Looks like he's getting his lap going now. Really low on fuel as well. He's got the fuel light flashing, so maybe limping back to the pits after this one. .444 on the soft, so a couple tenths up on his teammate. I guess that's pretty good. He needs to be like complimenting Zenith. So, you know, qualifying within a few places of Zenith will do well for the team. So, No Mercy jumped up to Tier 1 last week. He had a pretty good debut. I think he got 4 points. He was running up in the podium places for quite a while, so pretty good debut for him. Let's see what he does on this run. Is he pushing? Is the battery going down? Not really, no. So he's probably just heading in the pits. Hayden on an out lap, Gibbon. Here comes Puff. Puff doesn't have a time yet, and he's just starting his flyer. Let's ride with Puff Digital, and let's see what he can do. Puff fans all the way across the world in Canada disappointed last week. Wow, Hayden's been disqualified from the session for blocking the pit lane. So He must have spun and got himself stuck in the pit wall or something. Yeah, Hayden disqualified from the session, so he'll be starting last no matter what happens. But Puff Digital, rough go in the home race. Was Canada last week? Yeah. Rough go in the home race for Puff, and he's gone wide there and invalidated that run, so he needs to try and bounce back from that rough weekend in front of the home fans. Maybe the pressure of driving without the fans there might benefit Puff a little bit. Maybe he'll feel a little more relaxed this week. And 104.3 without the invalidation. So, I mean, really, he lost time on that invalidation too, so it's actually a pretty good time if he can just kind of keep it on the road. Like where he invalidated, to me, it didn't look like he was actually gaining anything. It's just obviously went wide, right? So we'll see what he can do with that time, if he can keep it clean. We got Leclerc as well. He's reserving tonight, making his debut. I'm not sure he raced with us last week. I think last minute he had to bail, but this week he is here. So he's in that Alpine car. Let's see what kind of time he can set here. Relatively competitive time. I think it's invalid though, but it is in the mix with some of the other Tier 1 guys, so it's not a bad lap time. He seems to be fitting in there pace-wise. We got Jinnit on the soft tires now, so he's our championship leader. Let's ride with Jinnit and see what he can do. Says we only got 4 people tuned in on my YouTube app, but I see 15 on the PlayStation. Let's check in on that. Yeah, we got 15 watching. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Appreciate you popping in. Yeah, but 15 in for quali. That's a really good start to the broadcast. Hopefully we can keep building on that, and hopefully the people that are here stick around, and should have some really good clean racing tonight. This is one of those tracks where the DRS streams form, and this is the cream of the crop in ZOR. We got all the best drivers out here tonight. So Jinnit goes 104.2, so not quite up to Cobalt's pace. He's going to have to find some more time, but yeah, we got a lot of really good drivers in this field, and the midfield is super tight. There's a few clear front runners, but they're all pretty close to each other as well. So we've had some really good races so far this season, and we're looking forward to another good one here tonight. You see the lap times. I mean, they speak for themselves. Jinnit with a 104.3 essentially, T-Money 104.3, and then look at the other guys behind them. Maverick, Fusions, Beck, Joshua, all within a tenth. So, put these guys out here on the track together. We're going to see some pretty good battles and some good defensive driving to try and navigate their way through the field. We'll see what Jinnit can do. I mean, he kind of wants to start out in front. If he can just follow Packer and come P2, if Packer just has that, but you see the pace advantage Packer has at the moment. It's 4 tenths. It's quite substantial. We got Cobalt, though. He's just about to finish a lap. Let's ride with Cobalt for the final few turns and see if he can challenge Packer for that pole position spot tonight. Packer looks to be the early favorite here. He is in the 103s, but he's still a ways off Packer's time, 2 tenths down. So Packer has the advantage at the moment. Let's see what Jinnit can do. Jinnit is up on his Sector 2 time. No, he's coming in the pits, so he shouldn't be up. He's coming in. So Puff, the only driver without a lap at the moment. He's been really struggling with the lap invalidations this year. It's been sort of the bane of his existence in Season 6 so far. Otherwise, he's had a pretty good season compared to last year. So obviously he wants to get a good result tonight after not picking up any points last week. He needs to get a lap time on the board. Luckily, it's a short lap here, so you get a few extra tries at it if you mess up. But yeah, really, really tight midfield. I mean, look at these times. You can see how this is going to pan out in the race. Everyone's going to be right with each other. I mean, almost the entire field is within a second of one another. So that's DRS range, and you know, obviously with the battling and whatnot, there's going to be a lot of good scraps. I don't have a weather update yet. It's full dry, Scabney says. Actually, I just saw that. So Scabney says full dry, which will bode well for us when we see these kind of lap times. We much as I was hoping for ranges for a little chaos, I think it's going to be a good race in the dry because of how close everybody is running here. So Maverick looking to make a challenge for the championship here in Tier 1 for the first time. He won the Tier 2 championship 2 seasons ago. Last season made his debut in Tier 1. Struggled a little bit, but did fairly well overall. He was competitive, close to the points most weeks, and sometimes scoring them. But this season he's taken that next step, and you can see that he's put himself into P3, just in front of Puff Digital, who actually did get, like I said, without that little moment he had there, had a pretty good lap time, and there he is in P5. So Puff Digital's got a pretty good crack at a top 5 finish here today if he can go out and build on that qualifying lap and then maintain that pace through the Grand Prix. Maverick as well is going to be able to challenge. And Joshua has been struggling a lot this season so far in qualifying. He's actually really got a really good time on the board here. 104 flat for Mr. Joshua, who hasn't had a great run in quali this season. See what he can do if he can build on that. Maybe get himself a little further up the field, perhaps challenge for P2. At the very least, try and hang on to that P3 spot. Yeah, Puff Digital is looking for it today. He needs to. He broke Canada's heart last week, and simply unacceptable, the Puff fans said. Many asked for a refund. Many Puff fans just happy to live the experience of a true Puff fan. Showed up to watch him at the home race, and he spun himself out and retired. So, something Puff fans know all too well over the last couple of seasons. But he honestly has had a pretty good start. He had a really good start to the season, actually, like a great start. And he's just had some bad luck in the last few races, and he just definitely had the form and the pace generally, just mistakes and stuff, and then it's just sort of unraveled. So hopefully tonight he can bounce back and challenge for a P5, potentially even a podium here if we have some issues out front. Never really know. Sometimes getting stuck in that DRS train, it can be, you can start making desperate kind of moves to try and get yourself a little further up the field. It just gets hard to overtake, and sometimes you have to get the elbows out if there's a big group running together. Yeah, we're on board with Scabney here. Came up from Tier 2, I think it was mid-season last season. Really making his mark in Tier 1 now. He's got a 104.2. You see the margins are so close. I mean, look at that. 600 separate 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. That is incredible stuff. And then only another 400s up the road is Alt Maverick. And another 10th down, we got Beck, Fuzz, No Mercy, Goofy, Bushy, and Porchy Dude all really close as well. So I think it's going to be a pretty good race tonight. I know a lot of people don't like the DRS trains. They don't like the tracks that are tough for overtaking. But when it comes to league racing, sometimes skill levels can really separate the field over the span of a race. But with a track like this and the DRS zones, it can kind of keep them close together, and we could see a little more wheel-to-wheel action than we're used to. Packer's got the line back on. Packer, turn your line off. Packer shouldn't have the line on. But I mean, if he's got the line on and there's still drivers challenging him, then I think that's fine. I don't think that's too big of an issue. It's just when, I think last season when he had the line on, it was like just domination. Like, he was like a second out in front. And it's like, well, no one can really beat him. So, this season it seems a lot closer. Got Fusions out here. He's putting on a good challenge. Kart Racer shares pictures of that. Lives in Bermuda. So, the North American tier isn't just strictly Canadians and Americans. There's people from all over this time zone racing this year. And 103.9 for Fusions. Good lap time. Jumps ahead of Joshua. So, looking at P4 currently, that's pretty good for him. Maverick on a run. Let's check in with Maverick. Barreling down that DRS zone. Using a lot of track there. It's still looking really good for Maverick at the moment. So I think Maverick could be starting in the top 3 here and definitely challenging for another podium tonight, which is starting to become a bit of a habit for Maverick. So it's looking like he is consistently a top 3 or 4 driver here. And if he can find a little more pace as the season goes on, wow, really wide there, but he keeps it legal. That's going to give him a huge jump. Nice chunk of time there for Maverick. Gets just ahead of Fusions. Not as... I mean, really, look at these times, guys. Like, this is insane stuff. Gibbon, Cobalt, Maverick, Fusions, all within a 10th. Joshua's within a 10th, too. Jinnit, only another 10th down. And then he's got a few other drivers within a 10th of him. So this is going to be... I'm really looking forward to this race, seeing these times right now. Yeah, Cobalt, make sure you get a clip of that. Did you get DNF there, or? Make sure you get yourself a clip, whether you stream or whatever, because if someone goes AI in qualifying, and they, like, you're not even supposed to do that in this league, but if they go AI and they impede your lap, or you crash into them or something along those lines, like, it is their fault because they've left their car on track controlled by a computer. It's just sort of the league rules. You're really not supposed to pause. I see some guys pause. Okay, whoa, Maverick's had a bit of a moment here. He's qualifying's done, thankfully, but yeah, he's just spun trying to come into the pits. Should be watching these other lap times, and I'm sitting here getting distracted. Wow, look at that. Highly recommend not doing that too. Don't crash on the main straight when people are trying to finish their final runs, because you could get a penalty for being a goof. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it's just sort of unsportsmanlike to crash and obstruct people's chances at finishing their lap clean, right? But yeah, Cobalt, make sure you get a clip of that and give it to the stewards. And AI, if the AI driver is responsible for anything they do, if the human driver decides to let the AI drive for them on track, then it's sort of an accepted risk. If they do something and impede another driver, then it's your fault. I know it doesn't really fix the problem. It doesn't help that you're impeded, but you know, kind of teaches people a lesson. That's it for quali. We'll run you through the order. Packer takes pole. Gibbon. Wow, Gibbon comes out of nowhere there. It's a really good lap. Gibbon takes P2. Cobalt P3. Mavericks 4th. Fusions P5. Joshua's P6. Jinnit's P7. Puff P8. So Jinnit's got some work to do. He's going to have to find some pace if he wants to get on the podium tonight. Puff P8, Scavney P9, T-Money in the top 10, and then Beck, Fuzz, I said Fusions, Beck, Fuzz, Bushy Baboon, Porchy Dude, Leclerc, No Mercy, and Hayden down at the back. Those guys all have tire choice. Starting from the back there. Is Fuzz recruited an Indian comrade here? I don't even know if I can... Indian comrade? Does that even make sense? Yeah. That might be a friend of Fuzz. The lone Indian driver in the field. Ooh. Scabby says full dry, but... I'm no weatherman, but that looks like it's gonna rain. It really looks like it's gonna rain. That's very cloudy and misty. you know, if I was going for a walk in the morning and I saw that it looked like that outside, I'd bring my raincoat. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, we're going to just wait a minute here for the drivers to choose their strategies. Everybody to go take a leak real quick. Got some old men in the field. They got to make sure the bladders are empty before they sit down for 45 minutes of grueling virtual racing. Especially with the weather in the air. Last thing you need is rain falling when you gotta pee. "16 people tuned in. There's a pretty good numbers there for qualifying, and it usually builds up a little closer to the race, but good amount of people watching the whole qualifying session, so you see the pace, and we know how close it's going to be throughout most of the field here. If we do get a little bit of weather towards the end of the Grand Prix, we could. Beer. Yeah, that's why I usually don't drink beer when I broadcast. Just you get a little gassy, but if you do get a little weather, it could really shake things up. There could be that crossover period where people aren't really sure if they should pit or not, and I guess the one advantage with Austria is it is a pretty short lap. So if you do pit a lap early or a lap later, then you might not suffer as much because the laps are a little shorter. Scavney? Listen here, my friend. I've seen this before, alright? Everyone, oh, it's full dry. No one expected the rain. Everyone ran a dry setup, but then you see that weather, and like you know, look at the sky. It doesn't look like it's not going to rain. And we've seen the dynamic weather, how it does shift sometimes, at least in previous games. I don't think we've seen it yet this season, but in previous games we have seen it where it's forecast to be dry, and in a track like Austria, Montreal, where it does rain a lot, and it does shift towards wet towards the end. But yeah, no, honestly, I think I'd rather see a dry race tonight, to be honest, anyways. Just because we saw the pace was really good there. The wet weather will really separate guys more, I think, and it's not necessarily something we want. Without DRS, it'll be nearly impossible to overtake here. Yeah, that sucks, Packer. I know you know what to do with the submissions and the stewards reports, so file as needed. But the AI driver sounds like he blocked 2 guys on that run, and I mean that's going to be something that'll come up just as a general reminder, like, hey, don't go AI, you know. But you'll also, that driver will get a penalty as well. Not sure who that would have been, but said the Haas driver, so no mercy perhaps. Maybe just not quite aware of the rules in that sense, but you know, it's something I could see guys doing. You know, oh, I got to text someone back. I'm just going to pause while my car drives into the pits. Like, you know, you can't be doing that stuff, and it does mess with a lot of drivers, so definitely will be looked at and likely will be penalized. Packer taking it pretty slow on this formation lap. I generally leave that telemetry off. Let's get rid of that for now. Haha, Scavney. What did I tell you, my friend? It doesn't look like it's going to be dry. I mean, you can use all your weather forecasts all you want, but like I said, if I'm going for a walk, I'm taking my umbrella. Doesn't look nice. You know? I'm going to work today. Like, I don't know. There is a little bit of blue sky, I guess, off in the distance. I'm going to work today. I'm making sure my raincoat's packed. Anyways, Packer on pole position. Gibbons in second. Cobalt's in third. Maverick and Zenith, his closest rivals, 4th and 7th today. Puff Digital down in 8th. Scavney 9th. And T-Money rounds out that top 10. So, should be a dry start to the race. Weather could come in. We don't know. Scavney says 10 minutes to rain. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. So, it'll be around lap 12, roughly. Could see some wet weather. Let's get things fired up. This is Zenith Online Racing. It's Season 6. This is Round 7. We are in Austria. We have 3, 4, 5 lights are on. And we're racing. Packer off to a good start, it looks like. Given a little slow. Cobalt's going to get him on the start. And that Ferrari of Joshua down the inside. He gets bumped from the back. But he does keep... Oh, Joshua's lost it! Joshua goes round. So Joshua off the track early there. He got pushed wide and then on the curb. Didn't want to lift. He didn't want to lose that place. And, oh, there's some chaos back there. Wow, cars all over the road. And we have a car missing the corner. And another guy's gone off. I think that's T-Money that's gone at the back there. T-Money down at the back with Joshua. And Beck as well caught up in that, it looked like. So, wheel-to-wheel racing here. We got Fuzz and Porchy Dude. Fuzz on the inside there. Sorry, it's on Leclerc. Porchy Dude just ahead of them. Let's get back to the front. We got a pretty close gap at the front here. We'll keep an eye on that. A bit of a hectic start there for a few guys. And poor Joshua got pushed from the back and then, you know, sure, okay, he got pushed from the back, like, you know. But it was staying on the throttle over that curbing that really did him in, and it's going to be a tough argument to sell to the stewards, I feel like. You know, how much of it was on him after the initial contact. Here comes Cobalt, though, putting that pressure on Packer. Going down the inside here into turn 3. Packer not leaving any space. Cobalt, Packer slams the door. Cobalt looking for a little more room there. He's going to stick his nose in again, surely. Here comes Fusions, putting some pressure on Gibbon. There it is, out front again, Cobalt. They would touch wheel-to-wheel, and Packer keeps the place. So good defensive driving from Packer there, hanging on to the lead for the time being. Gibbon and Fusions behind having a duel as well. So see Porchy Dude very close to no mercy back there. But the lead, the battle for the lead is on here. That DRS active in a lap, that's going to really spice things up. Cobalt's going to have a big pace advantage, and he's going to be dragging Gibbon along with him. Confusions hang on to the front 3 here. Leclerc already with a penalty. Here he goes with that DRS. Cobalt down the inside. Locks up a little bit, but he does have the position on Packer for the time being. Does Packer get DRS now? He does. So Packer looking to fight this back. He's going to the outside, and he is ahead. So Packer keeps the place. Like I said, it's going to be some great wheel-to-wheel racing today. We've already seen it out front, and I'm sure the rest of the field there's plenty of action, but obviously we're going to keep our eyes on the top 3 at the moment. On board with Cobalt right now. He's trying to hunt down Packer for that lead. He's got Gibbon applying that pressure. You see that exhaust heat obscuring the vision to the back. Seems to be a lot of moisture in the air today. We could see some rain potentially. You can kind of see it just hovering in the air there, that damp moisture. Here comes Cobalt. Taking a look, but not going for it yet. He's going to try and get it done here in the final DRS zone. And he'll have a good chance of hanging on to it if he does get the move done, because there is no DRS for a few corners. Can he get it done? There they are, wheel to wheel. And he goes down the inside. My bad, I went to the wrong guy. Down the inside, and Packer trying to hang on to that still. Packer's going to have the inside now. And Packer still keeps the lead. Great stuff. So Packer really determined to win this thing today, not looking to yield at all. He probably knows Cobalt has him on pace, but Packer's just going to try and wear him down and make him use up his tires so he can keep that first place. And then Gibbon and Fusions behind, and the rest of the field really just closing in, going to hang on here. So look at that. The entire field is within a couple seconds of each other. The front, the top 7 all within a second. So Packer going to be under huge threat here. But as soon as he does get past, he's going to have DRS as well. So It's going to be really tough. Really tough for Cobalt to get away here. We do have a yellow flag at the back of the field. That looks like Beck has had a mistake. Cobalt in the lead now. Can he hang on to it? Packer with that DRS trying to fight it back, but he can't. So Packer now has been passed by Cobalt. Cobalt really needs to go and stretch his legs here and try and get in front. Build that gap up. These other guys are all going to be within DRS range. He needs to get away if he can. No mercy and Porchy Dude swapping places back there. We also have Fusions putting some pressure on, going for that final podium place. Leclerc is out of the session. My lord, what happened? He is well behind. He's gone off in a tricky place. Has he hit the wall? Yeah, I think he has. He's pretty far off the track there. We might be able to just see it to the left of us there. No, he's gone now, so no safety car or anything of the like, but Packer back in front. Does get back in front of Cobalt. So just as we suspected, that DRS being very powerful here in the early stages. We got Gibbon and Fusions battling. Oh man, they're so close. And Maverick hanging on to them as well. Still wheel to wheel, Gibbon and Fusions. Fusions going to that outside. You can see Gibbon harvesting. So the battery advantage appears to be with Fusions at the moment. Gibbon seems to be really fighting it with his battery. We'll check in a little further down the field. You can see a lot of action going on. It's just so tough to decide who to watch at any given moment. Really, the jumping around doesn't do anybody any favors, so we just kind of need to pick something and stay with it. And obviously, this is where all the big points are. Let's stay with the front runners. We'll try our best to catch other overtakes if we can, but with these consecutive DRS zones, you just don't know what's going to happen. Here comes Cobalt again. Wow, putting that pressure on. He's going to the outside here. Packer covering that inside, pushing him to the edge of the circuit, leaving him just enough space. It would be fair but firm. And Cobalt doesn't use his DRS for some reason. Did he not have it? I guess maybe he didn't have it because they were side by side. But Packer should have had it then, right? I don't know. Maybe they were identical. I don't know if that would ever happen, but... Oh no, Cobalt's lost it! Cobalt's out! Oh my goodness! He's been challenging for the race win so far tonight. That's a safety car. Unbelievable stuff. Wow, and these guys... Oh my goodness. Fusions, Gibbon, Maverick, they have gotten a huge stroke of luck here. They're going to pit super early. And Packer's going to have to go all the way around the circuit to make it into the pits. Everyone diving in now. Surely everyone needs to pit here. You got to figure. Puzz stays out. It looks like everybody on the medium stayed out. Packer obviously missed the pits. Wow, that safety car. That's really, really stirred things up. Packer has a challenge and a half ahead of him now. But wow, Cobalt doing an incredible job fighting for that win. And like I said, Packer just wore him down. Kept fighting and fighting, tooth and nail. Didn't give it up. And he wore Cobalt down to the stage where he made an error and he went off the road into the barrier. And he's out of the Grand Prix. So Packer, now you have to say Packer clearly the fastest guy on the track tonight at this stage of the race. What can he do? Is the safety car going to impede him heavily? How long is his stop going to take? You know, how many guys are going to get by him? I got to figure at least, you know, he's probably coming out P9 or 10 at this stage. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out ahead of T-Money. Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be tough. Those guys are going to be throttled a little bit, or they're catching the safety car now, perhaps. But let's keep an eye on Packer. So Packer just pulling into his pit box, and the top 6 going to pass him here. He might get out in front of Fusions. I think he will. So he's going to stay in the lead. Yeah, he does. So he's still in the net lead. That's not that bad. He's still got net lead of the Grand Prix. The guys who haven't pit are ahead, so we know that's going to slow Packer down. But he does have pace. We could see him make some moves and slowly climb back out to the front. But he's still in the net lead, so that didn't hurt him as much as I thought it would. Because really, the gaps don't matter. Obviously, everybody's going to close up and be right on his tail again anyways. But, you know, to keep track position over the other guys running in the top 3, that's really good for Packer. Almost robbed there. He's going to get away with that one. So, obviously, the guys at the back who haven't pit going to be in a little bit of a rough spot. You got to figure. Why is T-Money this far behind? With no pit stop. Surely he's going to pit though, right? Like, he pits now, he'll be able to catch up to that queue again. He's nearly there now. Obviously, we're doing another lap, so I would think that these guys at the back need to pit, really. T-Money, Joshua, and Beck. No, T-Money's not going to pit. I guess he's on mediums. That's okay. Joshua should pit, though. Porchy Dude doesn't pit. He kind of needs to. And Beck surely will pit. No, Porchy Dude doesn't pit. He's already done it. My apologies. But Beck needs to pit as well. He's got to go in here. No. Doesn't pit. What? No, Joshua's gone to inters. No. Did he mean to do that, or is it starting to rain? You say rain's imminent or something? Like, why did he choose to go to inters? Unbelievable. So maybe that's why Beck didn't pit. He's thinking, I'm going to have to pit for inters soon anyways. Interesting strategy from Joshua. I don't see any rain yet, though. He's going to struggle to catch the field here. Hang on. While we're in safety car, let's do this. Try to see if this audio bug is a little more smooth. Nah, it's just as bad. Sometimes they say if you go to the menu, it can kind of fix the audio bug. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Cold tires. Are we getting another lap here? Because if it starts raining on this lap, then Joshua might be in a great spot. But realistically, at this stage, I don't see how it could be interesting. Is it starting to rain? Did I just see spots of rain? It is. It's starting to rain. Unbelievable. Joshua has put the inters on, and it's starting to rain. We're going to go racing again, and it's going to be wet weather. Oh, my goodness. Porchy Dude and Beck have pit for inters as well. Unbelievable stuff. Oh, man. I knew this was going to be a good race tonight. Unbelievable stuff. It's starting to rain. I don't believe it. And Packer is saying his tires were super cold. I wonder if he's struggling to get temps in. Now with the rain, it's going to be even harder to get temperatures in. It's starting to rain. Yeah, I'm seeing bigger drops more often. I definitely think it could be wet weather within a lap or two. I don't think it's quite interweather yet, but we are starting to see the drops collect on the screen. Safety car is in this lap, so we're going to go racing in the mostly dry with a few guys on inters at the back who aren't going to lose a ton of time here just because of the safety car conditions, but they might lose a ton of time with grip and pace. We'll see how it pans out, but the rain coming. I said around lap 12 we could see some rain, and here it is. We're about to start lap 12, and spots of rain collecting on the lens. It looks like we are in for a wet finish of the Austrian Grand Prix here. Hayden gets it going again. Nice restart from him. And we got Packer putting some pressure on. He's on the fresh mediums. So the fresher tire is obviously going to be better at holding that temperature for now. We'll keep an eye on those Inter guys. They are losing a lot of time at the moment, but any lap they could be on the right tire. And they are, if they can stay within the you know, pit stop window of the field, then they'll gain an advantage for sure. Yeah, a lot of wheel-to-wheel racing here. Let's go check in with these guys. Packer, Fusions, Baboon, and Gibbon. All in the restart there. Portuguese and Joshua swapping places on the Inters. They're definitely both losing time to the dry runners at the moment, but I can't imagine it's going to stay dry too much longer, maybe a lap or two. We'll see if those Inters are starting to pick up the pace a little bit in the next lap. Yeah, I think it's starting to get worse, this rain. No Mercy trying to put some pressure on. We got Fuzz and Packer wheel to wheel back here. Packer going down the inside, and he's going to get that move done. It looks like, yes. Gibbon and Baboon wheel to wheel. And Jinnet's right on the back of Maverick as well, who's right on the back of the AlphaTauri drivers. It looks like they're just starting to slow down a little bit, these guys, on the dries. Maybe just struggling for grip a little bit. Starting to. Yeah, a little. Oh, that was tight there. Fusions and Fuzz wheel to wheel. Fusions gets that place, so Fuzz sliding down the order on the older tires. Definitely seems that they are a bit of a factor here. The yellow flag in Sector 2 is that Baboon, who's lost it, is just getting himself going again. Now he's going to be behind the Inter guys. Maybe considers pitting on the Inters at this stage, just given that he's had a moment. Don't think it's quite time to pit yet. We don't see DRS disabled. The rain looks like it's holding at the moment. It's not getting any worse. DRS is enabled, so still going to be dry for another lap or two probably. Beck's out of the race though. We have another safety car. So now, where's Beck lost the car? I don't see the icon anywhere. He's obviously lost it somewhere. He's on the Inters too, so obviously had some kind of mistake and crashed with that low grip. So we have another safety car here, and it's going to be interesting now. Like, what do these guys do? Mavericks decided to pit to mediums, which might not be a bad idea. He's going to pass the safety car here. But Maverick pitting to mediums, I mean, it might be one of those races where it drizzles but never really gets full wet. So Maverick getting his pit stop done while these other guys are kind of sitting and waiting and thinking like, oh, it's going to rain. Like, I do think the rain's getting worse, though. In this part of the track, it's collecting quite heavily. There's some spray starting to pick up now. So what does Scabney do? He's going to pit. Is he? I mean, he's got to get off these softs anyway. Surely he's going to go to the Inters, I would think. With what he can see on his screen, I would think Inters are the call here. No, he's going to mediums too. Interesting decision. I mean, that rain's getting worse, if you ask me. I don't know that at the end of the safety car period it's going to be dry anymore. So Gibbon puts the Inters on. Oh man, we got a mix of strategies going on. We got more guys joining Inters. So we got the guys that were on Inters and have switched back to mediums. Oh my goodness. Things are really shaking up here. Imagine if you had the Inters on and you came in and then DRS gets disabled. How's Joshua doing? I don't know, guys. I honestly think it's starting to get more wet. Like, to me, Joshua's car looks pretty good. I think Joshua's car looks better at the moment than Scavney's. But Joshua's deciding to get off these tires, I think. Oh my. So Joshua's giving up. Gibbon gonna stick it out. I mean, what is the chat think? What do you guys think? I think it's getting wetter. I don't know. Like, I mean, the fact that there's more moisture on the lens of the guys in the field. I guess Hayden following the safety car too, but people that are following other cars seem to have more moisture on the lens, which would suggest there's spray to me. Baboon's gone back to the hards, so Gibbon staying on inters. Baboon's gone to hards. It stopped raining, I think. No, it hasn't stopped raining, but it does look dry up here, doesn't it? Man, this is tricky. It's always about being on the right tire at the right time, though. You know, like, there's... For Gibbon, I think this gamble could pay off, because he does have cars behind him, but... If you're at the back, I think you got to be on the right tire. Make sure you're not losing ground. You know, I think if 13 out of 14 drivers are on dry tires, it would indicate that most of them feel pretty comfortable. So I would think that's probably the right decision at this stage. But we got Hayden in the lead. No Mercy is P2. Packer in P3. Fusion's P4. No Mercy's pit. So No Mercy's decided, you know what, I'm going to the inters now. Another lap behind the safety car, and I think the rain's getting worse, honestly. These guys surely got to be going inters. You wouldn't pit from that place without them, would you? No? Wow. Okay. Softs. Now, some guys have put inters on. Hayden's gone to inters. Oh, man. We are in for something else. Joshua's come in to get inters fitted again and change his wing now. So, okay. Maybe it is getting wet again. Doesn't look too bad up here, but I would say down in the pit lane it looks a lot worse. Right here looks dry. Down here it's raining quite heavily. You see the umbrellas in the stand. Is that a sign? Yeah. It's raining more. I would say it's raining more. How many stops have some of these guys done? Safety car in this lap. Some guys have done 3 stops, switching back and forth. Let's get back to the front. Let's see. I don't know, man. I think it's getting worse. That's what I was going to say. There's spray now. Like, look at this. There's spray. We won't see DRS again. It's going to be a wet race now. Once the spray starts, I think it's time. Yeah, look, Packer has no grip. And he's not coming in. Could that be a huge mistake? Some of these guys are going to pit. Jinnet's pitting. I think that's a brilliant decision to pit. Scabby's pit. Puff stayed out. I think it's time to pit, guys. I don't think staying out is the call right now. Look at this. Packer's all over the road. He has no traction. I think we're in for a wet finish here, and the guys that have just dove in are going to get an advantage. The guys that pit under the safety car in the inter is going to have a huge advantage. Yeah, we got spray. So Hayden has pit to the inters, and you can see the grip he's got. Let's watch Hayden. He's got way more grip than these guys on the dries. He's still struggling a little bit, but that's just wet conditions. And look at that, Hayden flying. I think it's inter time, and if anyone stays out another lap, I think they're going to be in big trouble. You can see Hayden just has superior grip to these guys right now. He's going to be well in the lead after this. Yeah. Everyone who didn't pit on that restart made a big mistake. And I think under the safety car it was still a little dicey, but Jinnett, brilliant move to dive in the pits there. He needed to do that. I think it was the right decision. You can see Hayden just absolutely flying. Puff stays out. Unbelievable. How are these guys staying out on the drives? They're clearly inferior tires. Like, how can you... I just don't get it. Why would you stay out? It's not just Puff either. Like, there's a lot of guys staying out. Just watch Hayden absolutely carve through. Why would you think that these are the right tires? It's unbelievable. I don't understand what a lot of these guys are thinking at the moment. Joshua doing it as well. It's not just Hayden. All the guys on Inters are flying. Unless it's going to stop raining like in the next minute. I think it's a big mistake. I mean, Packer out front doing a pretty good job on the dries. He surely needs to come in. He's going to see Hayden closing on him. He's going to realize that he needs to get off these tires. He'll have a big advantage over the other guys who haven't pit yet, but everybody needs to come in for Inters at this stage, I think. Yeah, look at that. Puff sliding all over the T-Money all over the road there. On the fresher tires, too, as T-Money has no grip. So Joshua sails by, like, you know, if that's not the sign, then I don't know what is at this stage. Joshua stays out, obviously. Yes, he needs to stay out. T-Money should not have stayed out. I don't know what he's thinking. But everybody else is pitting. They need to go to the Inters. It's time. Scabney, Baboon is coming in. Buzz on the Inters now. He's going to pass all these guys. Sails right by. So Joshua and Hayden out front. They're going to have a huge advantage over the next guys on Inters because they did it under the safety car. They gave themselves a big advantage doing that under the safety car. It's really, it's down to these two out front for the time being, and the rest of the field will sail past all the dry runners at this stage, but I mean, it is getting a little brighter, isn't it? I mean, maybe it stops, but the Inters are clearly a quicker tire right now. Even if they're good, even if it's only 3 or 4 laps, they're the right tire to be on. T-Money stays out. Maverick stays out. Wait, are they closing? Are they catching the guys on Inters now? Let's keep an eye on these gaps here. Out of the corners, they seem to have better grip. These guys on dries. And the sky is getting brighter. If this goes back to dry advantage, this is going to be one of the craziest races I've ever called. I mean, the rain seems to be lighter now, and the sky's a bit brighter. In the braking zones, it looks like the Inters are superior, but on the exits, the dries seem to be a better tire. Guys, I don't know how to call this. This is crazy. And then these Weavy, like, you know, on the straight line, it seems the dries are a better tire. But in these cornering sectors, where there's more cornering, you see T-Money just losing seconds at a time. So that crossover period very fine at this stage. I don't know. I think T-Money is starting to really struggle now. He's staying out still. Jinnit is closing rapidly. Maverick's still staying out as well. So let's check. Let's ride with Jinnit here and see what he can do. Now Maverick hits that curb hard. You see his car sliding all over the place. And yeah, Jinnit just has superior grip at this stage. You really see it. Jinnit going for a little bit of a lunge, but man, it just, like I said, the grip is there. Like he can pull that off. In dry weather, you'd never try and move from that far back, but he knows he has the grip. And I don't see, when you see these guys on the Inters passing you like that, how is that not the indication that you should be going into the pits? That's what I really need to understand with these guys at this stage. DRS is enabled. Oh my goodness. Are you telling me the dries are going to be the better tire in a lap? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And Joshua pits too. Oh my god. This is one of the craziest races I've ever broadcast, I have to say. This is absolutely bonkers. Like, I don't understand what's going on. This is the craziest weather I've seen. The guy swapping back to the softs now. Like, you know, it's... Holy cow. That is something else. I mean, it looks like Inter's still, right? But the rain is letting up, I think. It is starting to stop. You see, it's just little spits now. So the guys that stayed on the dries, are they actually going to... Is it going to pay off? Even though they look like fools for a bit? It might. And T-Money is in the net lead right now. And the guys on the softs are going to be really quick if it dries up. Yeah, I think it's drying up. T-Money's eating time out of Hayden right now. Hayden has to pit. He has pit. Here comes T-Money. This is his chance. He's gonna take the net lead by probably about 8 or 9 seconds here over Hayden. And that's gonna put Hayden behind Gibbon, perhaps even. And he sees those cars sailing by. Looks over his shoulder. Portuguese goes through. Gibbon close. Gibbon's gonna have temperature, but Hayden's got some work to do. So T-Money in a good spot here. We've had wet weather, so there's no requirements on what tire you need to run. Maverick sails by. Oh my goodness, it's dried up. It's completely stopped raining. Maverick sails by. T-Money looking to fight that. Not close enough, though. Wow, it's dried up again. And now is it starting to rain again? I thought it stopped raining. Or is it just spray left over? Yeah, maybe just spray. Just some standing water in a couple places. Wow, what an insane race so far. I knew it was going to be wet. Wow. Truly mixed conditions. Like, I mean, I don't think either tire was the wrong choice at this stage. I think there was a case for both. Like, the inters were quicker, but the dries ultimately are going to pan out for the majority of the race, are going to be the better tire. Wow, that is pretty wild stuff. Hayden closing up on Portuguese here with that DRS. Portuguese does have DRS as well, but can he fight it? Hayden on those softs locks up a little bit. They're wheel to wheel. Looks like Hayden's going to go through here. Superior grip on the softs. He's able to take that place. Wow. I can't believe what I've seen today. Portuguese looking to fight it back. I see behind Fusions and Joshua. Fusion's starting to fall off a little bit on these older mediums. Checking with Hayden on the soft tires. Packer on 16-lap old mediums. He's going to be a bit of a sitting duck here. Oh no, Packer! Ooh, Packer. I don't think he left enough room there. I gotta say, Hayden had every right to be there, I think. I don't think Packer left enough space on that corner. Hayden was well alongside. He was, you know, nearly neck and neck. So Packer's got to leave a little more room there. Pretty unfortunate to see. Portuguese now putting some pressure on Packer. I think Packer may have picked up some damage there, maybe just struggling on the tires. But, yeah, pretty unfortunate stuff. I think Packer was feeling a little desperate there. Didn't want to be passed by somebody on those fresh softs. He needs to try and claw every point he can out of this, and maybe just squeezed a little too much there. And, yeah, Hayden got some work to do again. Well, Packer really struggling on these tires. You can see him sliding all over the place, and Portudude now coming to put some pressure on. Maverick has been passed by T-Money yet again. Packer leaves a little more room that time. That was a little bit better. He gets a really good exit as well. Maintains that place over Portudude. So Maverick obviously realized it probably didn't leave quite enough on that last attempt and made sure he left a little bit more this time around. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Packer. Packer's one of the cleanest guys we got. So I think when things like that happen, it's a genuine mistake. It's not really malicious in any sense. Fusions trying to put some pressure on Hayden here. The softs are struggling a little bit. Maybe it's that DRS giving Fusions a huge push. Hayden really shouldn't be struggling this badly on softs, though. Or I guess Hayden just got through, to be fair, yeah, so. Sorry, did this say DRS disabled again, or what happened there? No, it's still active, obviously. Portudude goes by Packer. Gets it done this time. Packer superior on the exit. They're still wheel to wheel here. It's not a done deal yet for Portudude. He does seem to have a little bit more grip, but Packer just got that pace and he's able to fight it. That's just penalties. So No Mercy's retired in the pits. He's had enough for tonight. Packer really under pressure from Portudude, and we got Maverick and T-Money duking it out for that victory out front. Let's get back to the scrap out front. This is for all the marbles here, and they're pretty similar on tire wear. Maverick and T-Money having a really good scrap. Maverick taking a look, but tucks back in. He's going to think about going for it into turn 4 instead. And he goes down the inside, and he gets it done. T-Money now back in second, but you know, T-Money pretty good with his battery. He could very well just be trying not to be wasteful, making sure that he's always able to make the overtake when it counts, and you never know what could happen on the final lap. You can see anything in that top 2. These guys are really duking it out. Maverick's going to be trying to find that next level. Just go and put the hammer down and try and build himself a gap so that he can cement himself another race win, but T-Money has a lot to say about it at the moment. Fastest lap right now to Zenith. Maverick seems to be doing just enough to hold off T-Money. I don't know if T-Money's going to get close enough here. I don't think he will, so we'll see what he does with the battery. It looks like he's saving it quite nicely here. So T-Money, I wouldn't say that he's struggling in any sense with pace. I think he's just sort of saving it for the right moment. It looks like he's doing quite well. Let's check in on the... yeah, he's doing a great job. Yeah, you see it there. Okay, so that'll be really interesting to watch. It looks like Maverick has the pace over T-Money, but T-Money doing a better job sort of managing everything. And we'll see how that pans out at the end. Packer finally starting to break away from Portudude a little. Oh, Portudude's lost it! Wow, huge moment for Portudude. I don't understand how he continued to lose the car there. It looked like he had it under control, and he's gone and crashed himself. He's gonna have to get it back around to the pit lane if he's decided to call it a night. Can't be parking there. Yeah, rough stuff for Portudude there. I'm not too sure what happened. It looked like he maybe just got on the grass a little bit and lost the car, but he's retired. on track, it seems. Or did he crash again? Curious. Sure that'll be looked at afterward. Not really. Kind of looked like he crashed and then decided he was done and crashed again. I don't know. I don't really want to point fingers and say more than or speculate too much, but it didn't look natural, if that makes any sense. After the first little incident, you know, it's a pretty short lap. I think you just bring it around and you park it in the pit lane if you're done for the night. Don't be parking there. Like, it easily could have caused a safety car or something, but unless he just crashed. But you know, he didn't have a wing, to be fair. So T-Money using a little bit of that juice, gets back in front, and now is T-Money going to put the hammer down now and try and build that gap up? You know, we're getting towards the final few laps of the race. T-Money maybe going to spend all his savings and try and drive this thing home for the victory. That would be a big, big celebration in the T-Money household tonight if he can win this thing. I think even a P2 he'd be pretty happy with, but it's been a long time since T-Money tasted sweet victory, and he is very close tonight. That's close. Maverick going for it on the outside now. Yeah, Hayden, I don't think you were left enough space, if I'm being honest with you. I don't think it was a necessarily malicious move. Or Packer's a pretty clean driver, you know. I think he knows sometimes when someone's quicker than him and he tries to squeeze a little more than he should. I don't think it was dirty by any means, but you didn't have enough space there, and to me, I think that's on Packer. That's all I'm going to say. Like I said, there's no ill intent there. I don't think he's means to crash you or anything. It's just trying to put a squeeze on and preserve his position. He wants to finish on the podium. He needs to. He wants to try and fight for that title. And yeah, unfortunate to see. I was pretty upset when I saw the collision. It's not something I want to see from anyone. But Maverick with a huge, huge moment there, and that's broken the DRS. T-Money's out of DRS range of Maverick. He needs to use that juice now. Cement that victory, T-Money. Spend your savings. It's time. This is the opportunity he needed to possibly bring it home. Maverick with a big bobble there. It's going to cost him dearly. Is hanging on, though. He's within that DRS range still, so... How much? Yeah, it's just it's a fine balance you need to use, you know, like not too much power, but make sure that you've got enough to defend when you need to. And T-Money maybe just trusting his driving skill here. He's thinking he can bring it. Oh no, T-Money's picked up a penalty. Oh my goodness, no, T-Money. Unbelievable stuff. He's got 3 seconds. That's going to give the Maverick the victory. T-Money safe for P2 at the moment still, but that has to be absolutely crushing for T-Money. Surely he'll be absolutely heartbroken. Knowing, I mean, you can see the pace is just suddenly gone. I think he's pretty frustrated with himself for that. We don't know how close Maverick is. I mean, there's potential for Maverick to pick one up at the end here, but I gotta think Maverick knows now. All he has to do is bring this thing home clean, and it's his. Getting it down the inside there. Getting a move done. I don't know if he's going to keep that with the penalties he's got. But yeah, Maverick just really needs to bring it home. No mistakes, no penalties, and it's his victory again. T-Money. Oh, man, he's going to be heartbroken in that interview. And he's gone wide again. Packer is actually closed in now, but he's carrying a lot of penalties, so Packer might slip behind Ginett. No, Ginett with penalties too, so they're actually equal. So Gibbon will actually take third here. Maybe even Joshua could jump up to P4 with no penalties. Maverick and T-Money wheel to wheel. So T-Money, I don't think, is fighting it now. He knows there's not much of a point because he's going to lose it anyway. Doesn't want to lose any more time to the guys behind. Especially Joshua. You don't want him to overtake you as well. But it is the final lap. He's officially taken the lead on track. He had the lead on penalties. It's Alt Maverick rounding the final turn here in Austria. The sun's come out. Maverick about to cross the line for another win here in Tier 1. T-Money will take P2. Packer will drop down to P4. Gibbon on the podium by 3/10. Packer actually down to P5. Joshua on the podium. Unbelievable drive from Mr. Joshua there. Picks up a P3. So T-Money and Joshua both on the podium. And then we got Gibbon, Packer, Ginett, Fusions, Fuzz, and Puff all picking up points. And Baboon down in 11th. The only guy not to get points tonight that actually finished. That's it for round 7. Maverick on top again. Really putting a charge on for that championship. T-Money going to be absolutely crushed with that penalty. He had a win in the bag there. All he had to do was keep it on the road, and unfortunately, I mean, he's still happy anyway. You can see the driver celebrating there. Yeah, T-Money driver of the day. I would say I agree with that. Brilliant drive regardless. Obviously, the win slipped away by just mere seconds, but still a great drive. And then Joshua returns to the podium. So let's get a little party set up here. We'll get these guys in. Get some quick interviews done for you. Oops. I joined the race party. Didn't mean to do that. Apologies for the language. I gotta get the party set up here. So I need to start a. All right. Invites are out. Get you back in there. You know what? Did I forget to show the race results? I may have. Something they need for the standings. Yeah, my bad, guys. Hopefully someone got it. All right, Mr. Joshua. I'll get the first one here. So let's we'll get the interviews rolling. We'll start with P3. Obviously did a great job there tonight. Really tricky conditions. I think in that middle stint there, it was debatable. I think the inters and the dry tires were both the right choice. I don't think there was a wrong decision. The pace advantage seemed to be with the inters at one point. But with the length of the pit stop, it might have made more sense to stay on the dries. Really tricky stuff, but obviously you kept it clean tonight, and you jumped up on penalties into P3. First podium in a long time, if I recall. How you feeling
It's
about that?
been a while.
Yeah.
That's all right. So I I had a great launch on lap one, turn one, and then I got hit from behind and sent wide and sent around. So I was kind of disheartened there until the safety car, and then rain was coming, and I was at the back anyway, so I figured I'd try inners, and it ended up working out. I think I got up to P3, but in the last stint I went to softs. I maybe should have went to mediums. I just couldn't quite get the pace on the softs, and they were dying off on the end there. So, but
Yeah,
oh
no,
well.
yeah, no doubt. I mean, but yeah, obviously you did enough to snag a podium there. Yeah, that call you made to go on the inters obviously paid off quite heavily. I think the guys that jumped in right there and switched tires right on that restart, it really worked out. The guys that waited about that next lap, they lost a lot of time. So
Yep, I think I can. I was at the back anyway, so I figured I had nothing to lose and see what happens. So
yeah, no doubt. Yeah, great result. We'll move on to, I guess we'll jump to the race winner. Another brilliant drive. Did a great job. You were really putting that pressure on T Money. You guys had one hell of a battle, honestly. It's a shame that it ended on a penalty. I think T Money after that moment was just a little bit heartbroken, and that fight just seemed to disappear at that instant. But yeah, you did a great job putting that pressure on, forced him into that penalty, and then ultimately you were going to win it regardless whether you got it done on track or not. So another win in the bag for season 6. How are you feeling about that, Maverick?
Um, it's definitely two more than I thought I was gonna get. I'm gonna be honest. But uh, there were so many like questions you could say about this race, whether the inters were quicker, and for about 5 or 6 laps they were.
Yeah.
But I I knew staying out was the right call because both me and Packer knew that it was going to dry up pretty quickly. And the other thing that I kept saying in my head was, can the guys that pit pull out enough of a gap to where when they do pit back onto slicks, they'll be right behind us? And that's exactly what happened to Hayden, but then he retired on track. So yeah, it was an interesting call, and honestly, it's probably one of the first races I've ever seen where both there were people staying out on slicks, and then there were people pitting for inters and taking that gamble. So I really enjoyed that part of it. I love it when it gets really confusing. So it was definitely a good race to win, mostly because it'll be a memorable win of the incredible season 6 we're having so far.
Yeah, no doubt. I was saying multiple times throughout the race, it was one of the craziest races I've ever broadcast. Honestly, like I've never seen the rain come and then sort of confuse everyone like that. We saw guys under the safety car pit to inters and then pit back to the dries and then pit back to the inters again on the next safety car. Um, it was just crazy stuff. I've never seen it like you said. I think both tires were the right tire at one point. It was so bizarre to see that the inters were the right tire on pace, but the dries were overall the better tire for your entire race stint. It was just such a bizarre thing, and it was really about, you know, could you keep it on the road at any given stage? There was some hairy laps there for the dries, and then the inters became a bit of a worse tire, and as soon as DRS was enabled again, I think everybody realized that we were heading back to dry, and there was no hesitation there. But something they updated in this game was that they in that transition period before they disabled DRS, there is a little bit of a window where the inters are the better tire before DRS is disabled, and I think that that's something that sort of mixes it up really well. I think once the DRS gets turned back on during wet weather, it's really obvious to everybody that we're going to dry, but it's not necessarily the same the other way around. So something that definitely has improved this year, and it's really shaking things up. That was one of the best races I've seen in Tier 1. Just, yeah, the weather really shook things up. I don't know. Did T-Money join you? Are you here, T-Money? Yeah. Man, I feel so bad for you. That was heartbreaking. So damn close to tasting victory again, and you used to win a lot of races, and you've really challenged yourself by removing all those assists. And I have to say, like, that was the best drive I think I've seen you do since you took the assists off. Whether you won or not, you definitely were the best driver. I think one of the best drivers in the field out there today, and did a hell of a job. And it's a bummer to lose a win like that, but that's a P2. You're in the podium again. This is your second time in the podium this season, and obviously your pace is just getting better and better, and you're getting a little more comfortable. And I think you should be pretty proud of that drive, regardless. It's just one little wiggle, one little wobble, cost you 3 seconds. But how you feeling?
Penalty points.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think you did a great job. Like I said, that scrap at the end was brilliant stuff. It's just really unfortunate there was a penalty you picked up, because I would have liked to see, no questions about it, like who finishes ahead on the track. That would have been a really good finish. So yeah, just unfortunate to end like that. But like you said, brilliant drive. You did a great job, and Joshua too. Like that rear end. Pushed him a little wide, and then he had that mistake in the curb, and to come back and snag a podium after that opening lap, you got to be really happy with the result there.
Yeah, I'll still take it.
Yeah. I kind of forgot that he got knocked off the road in that beginning part, and all of a sudden he's on the podium. So, yeah, brilliant drive there. Probably should have been driver of the day. The game gave it to T-Money, but I think
I started up there. I was like in P6 or something like that when I started. So
I was gonna say you started behind me and I was P4.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I when I saw the start and I saw you just like blow right past me on the inside, I was like, what?
Yeah, I got a massive launch. Yeah, so I got a great start. So I wish I could do that every time.
I was gonna say you spun in turn 1 and is on the podium. I got spun out in turn 4 and I'm on the podium. T-Money I don't think spun at all, so you got to get with the program. So moral of the story, kids, don't give up.
There's so many people that retired on track. I mean, you never know what could have happened. I don't understand why people do that, but whatever. I'll take the advantage of it.
I think the emotions just get the best of some people sometimes, and they just kind of, I wouldn't say rage quit, but they're kind of just like, oh, screw it. I worked so hard and got robbed anyway. Forget it, But yeah, you guys did a great job tonight. Obviously, another win in the bag for Maverick. That's going to do wonders in the championship battle. Jinnit didn't get too many points tonight, but he still got a nice haul. So Jinnit's got to find that form again if he wants to keep you guys, you and Packer, off his heels. Because I think you guys are going to be put on a pretty good challenge towards the end of the season. So congrats to the top 3. Thanks for everybody that watched. We had a lot of people tuned in tonight. Appreciate everyone watching. And make sure you subscribe and you get the live notifications for the next few races this week. Tuesday night, PC tier. Wednesday, we got tier 2, and Thursday, tier 3. We'll catch you next week for tier 1, Monday night, 8 p.m. We're going to Silverstone for Great Britain. The British Grand Prix, always a great one, and Jennett's going to be looking to bag himself another win there, so the home race for him, he'll be fired up for that one. And a lot of the guys here are UK based, and we'll see a lot of guys driving for Pride next week, and hopefully another really good race with lots of action, because overtaking, I wouldn't say it's as tough as here, but it's not super easy in Britain. There's a couple good straights for it, but generally it's pretty tough track for overtaking, so we should see some pretty good racing next week as well. And that's it for tonight. We'll catch you next week. Thanks, everybody.